Hello, and welcome to ProMan Sexual Harassment Training. At ProMan, we are committed to creating a safe, inclusive, and respectful workplace for everyone. This training is a crucial part of that commitment. Sexual harassment is not only against the law but also undermines the trust, well-being, and productivity of our team. That's why it's vital for all of us to understand what sexual harassment is, how to prevent it, and what to do if it occurs. In this video, we will cover the following key topics. Understanding sexual harassment. We will define what constitutes sexual harassment, explore different types, and discuss why recognizing these behaviors is essential. Legal framework and company policies. You will learn about the laws protecting employees from sexual harassment and ProMan's specific policies and stance on the matter. Roles and responsibilities. Each of us has a role in maintaining a respectful workplace. We'll explain how to contribute positively and the steps to take if you witness or experience inappropriate behavior. Reporting procedures and resources. We'll guide you through the process of reporting incidents and highlight the support systems available at ProMan. By the end of this training, you will have a clear understanding of what constitutes sexual harassment and the steps you can take to help ensure a positive and respectful environment for everyone. Thank you for taking the time to complete this training. Let's work together to keep ProMan a safe and supportive place for all. Sexual harassment is illegal at both the state and federal levels. Laws such as Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 protect employees from unwelcome sexual advances, requests for sexual favors, and other verbal or physical harassment of a sexual nature. Each state may also have additional laws that provide further protection and guidelines for addressing sexual harassment in the workplace. Beyond its legal implications, sexual harassment is highly detrimental to the work environment. It creates a toxic atmosphere, undermines trust among colleagues, lowers morale, and affects overall productivity. Harassment can lead to severe emotional distress, reduce employee engagement, and increase turnover rates, ultimately affecting the company's culture and success. At ProMan, we are committed to upholding a zero-tolerance policy against sexual harassment to ensure a safe, respectful, and supportive workplace for everyone. Within this course you will learn more about an explanation of sexual harassment consistent with the Illinois Human Rights Act, examples of conduct that may constitute unlawful sexual harassment, a summary of federal and state statutory laws concerning sexual harassment including remedies available to victims, and a summary of employer responsibilities in the prevention, investigation, and corrective measures of sexual harassment. What is sexual harassment? In employment, sexual harassment is any unwelcome sexual advances, requests for sexual favors, or any conduct of a sexual nature when submission to such conduct is either explicitly or implicitly made a term or condition of employment, and submission to or rejection of the conduct is used as a basis for making decisions about your employment, or such conduct interferes with your job performance or creates an intimidating, hostile, or offensive working environment.
Sexual harassment is any unwelcome verbal, visual, or physical conduct of a sexual nature that is severe or pervasive and affects working conditions or creates a hostile work environment. There are generally three forms of sexual harassment behavior: verbal, visual, and physical. Verbal harassment includes comments about clothing, a person's body, sexual or gender-based jokes or remarks, requesting sexual favors, or repeatedly asking a person out. It also includes sexual innuendos, threats, spreading rumors about a person's personal or sexual life, or using foul and obscene language. Visual harassment can include posters, drawings or pictures, screensavers, cartoons, emails, or texts of a sexual nature. Physical harassment often includes sexual assault, impeding or blocking movement, inappropriate touching such as kissing, hugging, patting, stroking, or rubbing, sexual gesturing, or even leering or staring. Each of these forms of harassment can be broken down into two categories: quid pro quo and hostile work environment. Quid pro quo means this for that. This happens when an employer or supervisor uses job rewards or punishments to coerce an employee into a sexual relationship or sexual act. This includes offering the employee raises or promotions, or threatening demotions, firing, or other penalties for not complying with the request. A hostile work environment occurs when employee behavior interferes with the work performance of another, or creates an intimidating or offensive workplace. This usually happens when someone makes repeated sexual comments that make another employee feel so uncomfortable that their work performance suffers, or they decline professional opportunities because it would put them in contact with the harasser. In either type of harassment, employees only have to prove that the behavior was offensive to someone, even if it was not the intended recipient. For example, Mike tells a dirty joke to Linda. Linda loves the joke and laughs. However, Michelle happens to be walking by when the joke is told. Michelle is offended by the joke. That joke could contribute to a hostile environment claim because Michelle, who happened to be in the area, finds the dirty joke offensive. There are two conditions to determine if a company is liable. The first is whether the employer knew or should have known about the harassment. The second is whether the employer failed to take appropriate corrective action. Having policies in place and an active training program can shield employers from expensive lawsuits.
Sexual harassment also applies to non-employees, and as you can see, anyone can be a victim. Sexual harassment can even occur online through all forms of social media. For example, all of these behaviors listed are considered sexual harassment. And even though you may not be at work or on the clock, you can still be in violation of the law. So, you are probably asking yourself, what can I do? Remember, you have certain rights. You can tell the person to stop. You can report the sexual harassment. You have the right to be protected from further sexual harassment. And you have the right to be protected from retaliation. There are many ways of reporting sexual harassment. Report it to your direct supervisor. If that supervisor is the perpetrator, contact HR. Other options include contacting your state's resources to report sexual harassment or discrimination along with filing a charge. For telephone numbers and/or websites, please call Human Resources. Remember, sexual harassment or harassment in any form is absolutely against company policy, and there are both state and federal laws against it. So, what is the company's responsibilities for sexual harassment? First of all, prevention through training and awareness. Investigate, immediate action with confidentiality protected, as much as possible. Provide corrective actions depending on the findings, coaching all the way up to and including termination. Sometimes, people are unaware that they are exhibiting harassing behaviors, but the other person feels harassed. It is not what or how it was said, but how it is taken. Bringing forth inaccurate or malicious charges of harassment is an equally serious action. So, let's do our part to make this a safe, respectful, and comfortable environment to work in. Please sign off with ProMan or ProStar staff to indicate completion of this sexual harassment training.